Hi, my name's Alexa Matos,
I'm Derek D'Amico.
and we're conducting an interview about our childhood memories. What was your favorite childhood memory?
One of my favorite childhood memories was probably when I was growing up in Island, and there was a street by my house, and it was Marconi Avenue, and it was a really big street, and me and all the other kids in the neighborhood would hang out on it and play stuff like we play football in the street or soccer or frisbee, all kinds of just things to be active. I made a lot of friends who were all varying ages, and that never really got to me. And now when I'm older, I really realize that it was weird being like a 9-year-old kid hanging out with like 14-year-olds, because I don't know how that worked like that.
Well, did you guys at least go to like the same school? Like I know some schools like they break it up where it's like K through 8.
The school I went to, there was like a couple of the kids, but like the ones that were in high school and middle school, no, it was broken up normally like it would be here.
I remember always hanging out with my cousins in Harrison. Well, my grandma, she used to live in Harrison. Well, actually, no, my grandma still lives in Harrison. She always did. And I used to live here, but I went to school in Harrison. I went to a private school that they actually condemned now, so they're not running anymore. But I used to go to that school, which was I think K through 8, and then you went to Harrison High School after that. My cousins, they used to live down the street, literally like 4 houses away from my grandma's. So we would like sleep over there, walk over, and we would just have like the funnest time ever. I remember it was mostly my sister Adri, me, and our cousin Nunu. He's only a year younger than us. And I remember we have like always all these pictures where he's like 3 years old or 4, and we're all doing dress up. And he was always the plumber. We don't know why he liked dressing up as a plumber. He had this vest he always used to wear, which was just like a brown corduroy vest, and he always carried around the plunger, like it was some type of like magic wand or something. And my sister was always the I Dream Genie, and I honestly don't remember what I used to dress up as. It was like always something different, but we still do have the pictures. And then my cousin Ethan was born, and I remember being in the hospital that day. That was the first year I started dance, and that's pretty much how I remembered how old he is, because this would be my 13th year of dance, but I quit in December. But my favorite memories were pretty much us just running around being crazy. And then they moved to Westfield. They had this huge, beautiful house. Oh my god, I love playing in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they I don't know, it was just like a lot of fun. We would always like run around with lightsabers and just like attack each other. Oh my god, it was the funnest things ever. And then they moved to Portugal for a year. I visited them. I was 13 at that point. And I spent my birthday there without my mom, and we played Pokemon Coliseum every single day. And you know that girl who always follows you around?
Yeah.
She's kind of like really, really annoying, and she just keeps following you around. She doesn't really help you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
We named her Moron, just because that's just what we thought of her. And it was just really fun. It was like carefree. Like they were like the only people who I could actually like hang out with and like have like a ball. It was, I don't know, I really miss that, because like they moved back to New Jersey, they went to Montgomery, and now they're back in Portugal. I never get to see them anymore. It really stinks because I really miss them. But I really hope they come over this summer. This is my favorite memory, hanging out with them. So who was your childhood best friend?
My best friend was a kid that I had met all the way back in kindergarten. His name was Shane Samsel. And as we were growing up, I didn't think anything of it, but now looking back on it, and I've seen him since I have moved from there, and we're very different people now. And even back then, I could tell that it was like having a friend that was your friend between the two of you, but outside of that, it really didn't feel like you meshed at all. Really, it was weird because he was the kind of kid who was into, as like an 8-year-old, he was into like Slipknot and like Metallica and all these other hardcore rock metal bands, and he was like a punk rocker basically, but I was kind of more of a quiet kid, and I remember we'd always hang out in his house, and we'd go in his basement and play Super Smash Brothers on his Nintendo 64, and I didn't have that, and I remember it was a lot of fun just going down and hanging out, and then he had stuff like, he had a trampoline in his backyard, and we'd go out and just for hours and just jump on a trampoline, and it's weird thinking about how much that is fun. Like, I can't imagine doing that for hours now. I'd get bored.
Yeah, with all that Call of Duty now, or
Right.
Reddit.
All the other things we have.
iPods.
Who was
Yeah.
your best friends? Or was it your cousins?
Well, my cousins were like pretty up there, but I didn't like. I needed a best friend like Edison, and when I was 8 years old, well, I had just gotten out of my cast, and there was someone new moving in next door, and I didn't know who she was, but my mom was like, well, why don't you go over there and say hi? She's like, all right, maybe I'll do it after lunch, but she beat me to it. The girl next door just came over and she was like, hi, it's my sister's birthday. I was wondering if you wanna come and we can have fun, we can meet new friends, and we'll just hang out. Oh, by the way, my name is Kayla, if you need to know. And then she noticed that I had a Build-A-Bear in my hand. She was like, oh my god, I have that same one, would you name it? And turns out we named similar names. Mine was Cookies and Cream, and hers was something like Oreos. It was something like that. Mm-hmm. It was just really similar, and we pretty much became best friends after that. It's really funny though, because like when you're kids, it's like little things like similar stuffed animals like that like defines a true friendship, or like a similar outfit, or like I don't know if you both just like the same guy in your 4th grade class, that defines your friendship. But for us, it just kind of like grew out of that. It was like we used to hang out with each other all the time. She was a year younger than us, so she was 7, I was 8. Actually, no, she was 6. She was turning 7 because my birthday had already passed. Since it was her sister's birthday, her sister was actually just turning 1 year old. Oh. So I got to see her grow up. She's 11, yeah, because she was born in 2000. No, she's 10. She's turning 11. So like every year on her birthday, we like count it as an anniversary. So it's like we just hit our 10-year anniversary last July, and it's like really amazing. It's like I can't believe we stayed friends this long. It's like we're not even neighbors anymore. Like she moved to South Carolina, and we're still friends. I mean, she had a little bit difficulty in South Carolina, so she moved back in New Jersey, but she's like 45 minutes away still. But we still find time to like hang out with each other, like over, like our spring breaks are totally different. Like she lives in Sparta, so all of her snow days got taken away. So she doesn't have a spring break. So she's skipping school to come see us on our spring break. So we're stoked. I love that girl. She's super, super loud, which is, again, like how you're talking about, like, the opposites. Yeah. She is the loudest person you will ever meet. Oh, my God. She's so loud and obnoxious. But I love her to death. It's like, I don't know. It's just insane. It's like she's, like, the only person I can actually be myself around. Like, me, I'm really, really quiet. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell now. I'm talking as loud as I can. But I'm usually a really, really quiet person. It's like I sit home, I play my video games, I do my homework, I do my video projects, I draw, and then I go to work. And then I go to sleep. I eat somewhere in between there, but still. And like her, I'm just bouncing off the walls with her. It's just like, it's insane. And like, she came over for a hairspray when we did it at school. And she slept over for that entire weekend. She saw the show like 3 times. And then we were in the chorus room, because that's where all the actors get changed. That's where everyone goes to the pre-show. But usually the people who sit out in the audience aren't allowed.
Yeah.
But Kayla had come early. So she was sitting there waiting with us because she didn't want to wait in the auditorium all alone. And we weren't allowed in there while people were filing in. So we just let her stay with us. And something had really upset her. She had a boy problem. And the guy was being a real jerk. Oh, he's still a jerk. I really don't like him anymore. He's still a jerk. And so she was crying. And we did Bye Bye Birdie like a couple years ago. And it kind of like, the production, it was really good. But we didn't really like the director because it wasn't Miss Troy. It was someone else. She was a meanie. And so, like, every time someone who was in Bye Bye Birdie will just start singing Put on a Happy Face. Like, gray skies are gonna clear up, put on a happy face. And we'll just, like, keep going like that. And even though she wasn't in the show, she knows how much, like, we hate when she does that. So we did it to her. She was like, oh my god, guys, you have to stop. And we put on some music, and we just, like, danced like we were at, like, a party. And it was just, it really got her happy. And, like, I figure, like, only friends can do that. Like, you can't have, like, just a regular friend do that, because, like, most of the time it's not just going to work. You're going to be like, all right, just calm down, get away from me. But it's like best friends. Like, we just know what the other one needs. And that's pretty much our friendship. It grew from stuffed animals to being friends forever. Do you still keep in contact with the friends you made in Nissen?
I've pretty much fallen out of contact with them, but mostly because I just haven't been there in a while. For like a couple of years, it was like I would go visit, but it just kind of has. It's been so long.
They just dwindle out.
Yeah.
Just phase out. I kind of lived in Edison my entire life, but when I was in Harrison, like my mom always lived here, but for a little bit I was technically living with my grandma. Like, I would stay there during the week, and I would come to Edison for the weekend because I would have dance on Saturdays. And I kind of like transitioned out my summer going into first grade, because I was only there for pre-K and kindergarten the years before that. And first grade I started new. I was in Edison. I didn't know anyone. Like, the only person I knew was my twin sister, and that's because we lived together for this 5 years before that. And I don't know, I was kind of lost. I can't remember if it was then that there was a kid up my street. His name was Jose. I can't remember if I knew him then or if I knew him earlier, because I remember he was in my first grade class. And then he moved away 5th grade, summer going to 6th grade. And we don't really talk anymore. I remember he came over once in the middle of 6th grade because he was visiting. And I was like, what the heck are you doing here? I'm about to go take a shower. And he was like, oh, I'm just saying hi. And I remember he was totally different. Like, his hair was cut, he got thinner, he was taller, and his voice changed like slightly, like not as much as it would have been like 8th grade, but it still was apparent. And then after that I never saw him again. Yeah, so I don't know how he's been. Yeah. But yeah, it was difficult kind of starting over for me, because starting over, it probably wasn't really the best term. I was a real social butterfly. Oh, I talked to everyone. Like, you wouldn't think, like, I'm not lying. I am so quiet when I don't know you. But I don't know why. I always had, like, that, like, personality where I would make a friend no matter where I was. Like, I went to the park, and I made a friend there, and then we never saw each other again. And I was just, like, someone to hang out with for the day, because I kind of get bored with my sister. And I remember in Disney World. Oh my god, I would make friends in Disney World all the time. It's kind of funny though, like when you look back into the past and like how much you remember. Yeah. It's like, think about like how different it is now. It's like you moved from Island, you lost your friends, you gained friends, and now you're here. It's like that's everything that brought you here to your friends now. And it's like without our past, we wouldn't have been able to prosper and become where we are now.